Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. I am Mishti and in this video I am going to talk about T.S. Eliot's essay that is Tradition and the Individual Talent. T.S. Eliot is a very famous figure in literary criticism and poetry of the modern period. T.S. Eliot is also known as seminal critic, which means he had a strong effect on other works. One fun fact about T.S. Eliot is, in an interview he said that he never worked more than 3 hours per day. Isn't it interesting? I just wondered, can we do the same thing like working only for 3 hours per day and having fun in the other day? I don't think so. T.S. Eliot also contributed to new criticism and created the formalist movement. Guys, if you want to know more about new criticism and formalist movement, then let me know. Then I'll make another video on that topic so that you can understand it well. So guys, coming on the topic, that is the essay written by T.S. Eliot, that is Tradition and the Individual Talent. It was published in 1919. In his critical essay, Tradition and Individual Talent, T.S. Eliot argues that art must be understood not in a vacuum but in the context of previous pieces of art. According to Eliot, a simultaneous order of works that is known as tradition in artwork. Tradition and the Individual Talent is one of the more well-known works that Eliot produced in his critic capacity. It formulates Eliot's influential conception of the relationship between the poet and preceding literary tradition. This essay is divided into 3 parts. First one is the concept of tradition, second one is the theory of depersonalization, and the third one is conclusion. So let us know about the first part, that is the concept of tradition. Eliot presents his conception of tradition and the definition of the poet and poetry in relation to it. Then Eliot talks about tradition and historical sense. He says tradition is a matter of much wider significance. It cannot be inherited, and if you want it, you must obtain it by great labor. It involves, in the first place, the historical sense. And then Eliot says that nothing can be valued in totality. Every poet or artist, consciously or unconsciously, keeps some bits of past. Eliot says about conformity between the old and the new. When a new work of art comes, it is automatically connected with its past. Eliot says that nothing and nobody can be valued alone. At the end of the first part, he starts making structures for the second part, that is depersonalization. And at the end, he says the progress of an artist is a continual self-sacrifice, a continual extinction of personality. Now let us move to the second part of this essay, that is theory of depersonalization. In this second part, Eliot tries to define the process of depersonalization in its relation with the sense of tradition. The main aspect of this theory is the relation of poetry with the poet. Eliot says honest criticism and sensitive appreciation is directed not upon the poet but upon the poetry. He suggested the analogy of the catalyst in a scientific lab for the process of depersonalization. Now let us take an example of a chemical reaction so that we can understand it better. As we are seeing the chemical reaction, we see that when oxygen and sulfur dioxide are mixed in the presence of a filament of platinum, they form sulfuric acid. This combination takes place only in the presence of platinum, and the new compound or acid formed contains no platinum. Also, the platinum is unaffected and neutral. Similarly, poet's mind is like a platinum here. Eliot says that the poet has not a personality to express, but a particular medium which is only a medium and not a personality. When a poet escapes from his personality, then and then the great poem comes out. A poem must not show his emotion in poetry. Then we'll go to the third part, that is the conclusion. Eliot says, there are many people who appreciate the expression of sincere emotion in verse, and there is a smaller number of people who can appreciate technical excellence, but very few know when there is expression of significant emotion which has its life in the poem and not in the history of the poet. By this statement he says that to admire a poem with the poet's skill and his name is easiest thing. The harder is to know technical skill or art of the poem. But the hardest thing is to find the significant emotions from the poem, which separates the poet from the poem. For him, the emotion of art is impersonal, and this impersonality can only be cultivated by the historical sense and conscious of tradition. The emotion of art is impersonal, and poet can't reach this impersonality without surrendering himself. So with that note, I end my video and we'll meet soon. So if you liked the video, please like, share and subscribe.